Car brands love selling all new promises, but in 2026, a handful of them are still rolling out vehicles that spend more time at the dealer than on the road. When recalls pile up, software fights the driver, and reliability takes a backseat to hype. The smartest move is knowing what to avoid before signing anything. What's up? It's Scott from CarlandTV, and today I'm breaking down the car brands you should not buy in 2026, based on real reliability data, real ownership problems, and the stuff brochures never warn you about. But first, do me a quick favor. Tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. It ain't required, but those clicks keep this thing rolling and make it easier for me to keep dropping solid car content straight to your screen. Now let's get back into it. Jeep. Jeep is the easiest brand for me to put on the avoid list in 2026, if reliability actually matters to you. Consumer Reports' latest brand rankings have Jeep sitting near the bottom overall, and that is not based on vibes or internet noise. That score comes from owner-reported problems across recent model years, and vehicles like the Wrangler and Grand Cherokee are predicted to be less reliable than the average new car. I see the same story over and over from owners. The vehicle looks tough, feels cool at first, then the small stuff starts stacking up. Most of the issues are not catastrophic engine failures right out of the gate. They are electrical accessories, infotainment freezes, climate control problems, and software faults. That stuff sounds minor until you realize those are the systems tied into modern drivetrains and safety features. J.D. Power's 2025 Vehicle Dependability Study tracks problems per 100 vehicles after 3 years of ownership, and the industry average is around 200 pp100. Jeep lands well above that, meaning more reported issues per vehicle compared to brands that actually focus on long-term quality. Then there is the recall history, which has been hard to ignore. Jeep plug-in hybrids like the Wrangler 4xe were recalled over battery fire risks, and there have been documented software failures that can shut down propulsion entirely. Add in manufacturing issues like contamination-related engine damage on certain builds, and it explains why warranty visits are common. That kind of pattern matters when newer vehicles are already more complex than ever. When a brand keeps missing the basics, it sets the tone for what comes next. And that same reliability gap shows up again as we move to the next name on the list. Rivian. Rivian is a brand I want to root for, because the R1T and R1S are clever, capable machines. But for a don't buy in 2026 reliability list, Rivian fits. Consumer Reports' latest owner survey ranked Rivian dead last for brand reliability, and the model scores line up. The R1T was scored in the teens, and the R1S stayed well below average. That is, owners reporting real issues after living with the trucks, not random noise. A lot of the pain comes from how software-heavy these vehicles are. When steering assist, driver assist logic, charging behavior, and basic controls are tied to code, bugs turn into daily annoyances fast. NHTSA recall documents show multiple campaigns on 2025 R1T and R1S builds, including a recall tied to a hands-free highway assist software defect that needed an over-the-air update, plus other supplier and compliance fixes like lighting parts. For money, that trade-off is hard to justify. No cap. Then there's hardware that should be boring by now. Rivian's own recall notice on early R1 vehicles cited an insufficiently torqued steering knuckle fastener that could cause excessive wheel camber and, in rare cases, separation. That's steering and suspension integrity, not a loose cup holder. When torque process control is part of the story, ownership can get expensive. Dealer visits add up when parts and labor aren't cheap. That mix of software churn and build consistency problems is a theme, and it shows up again once you look at bigger brands that keep stumbling on quality control. GMC. GMC is the kind of brand that can trick you because the trucks feel solid on day one. The doors sound heavy, the ride is quiet, and the trim names make it sound premium. Then real life kicks in. When a full-size truck is basically a rolling network of modules, one weak link turns into a chain reaction. Random warnings, camera glitches, radio dropouts, battery weirdness after an over-the-air update. That's the kind of, why is my truck acting possessed, stuff that wastes your time, and it shows up a lot on late-model GM trucks. The big technical landmine is the 6.2-liter L87 V8 used in Sierra 1500 and Yukon variants. NHTSA opened a defect probe after complaints of bearing failures that can seize the engine or throw a rod, and owners consistently described little to no warning before the failure. GM then issued a safety recall in 2025, tied to manufacturing defects in internal engine components, with documentation describing bearing damage that can lead to loss of propulsion. That recall paperwork is not small numbers either. GM's own filings cite tens of thousands of field complaints or incidents potentially related to the L87 failure pattern, and a huge chunk involve alleged loss of propulsion. That's a nasty risk profile for something people buy specifically to be dependable. Even if you avoid the 6.2, the software side can still bite. GM service bulletins have dealers reprogram the serial data gateway module and the radio on certain trucks after OTA updates because of battery drain and communication issues. That's not a one-time annoyance. It's a sign the vehicle's backbone systems are still getting sorted out after customers have already paid. That same mix of powertrain risk, plus finicky electronics, is exactly why the next brand on this list ends up frustrating owners in a different, but equally expensive, way. Volkswagen. Volkswagen is one of those brands that feels German solid on a test drive, then turns into a slow drip of weird problems once you're living with it. My issue in 2026 is not that every VW is junk. It's that the brand keeps getting tagged for the same buckets: electronics, driver assist, and software-linked safety systems. That's reliability pain that doesn't announce itself. It just keeps pulling you back to the dealer. Warranty coverage helps, but downtime still costs real time. Take the ID. 4. NHTSA recall filings show a major stop-sale era defect, where water can get into the door handle circuit board. Then the handle can send an open command, and the door can unlock unexpectedly. VW's remedy involved inspecting or replacing handles and updating software, which tells you it's both hardware and logic. In an EV packed with networked modules, one flaky node can trigger a bunch of symptoms. Then look at the camera and display problems. On the 6th of January 2026, Reuters reported a huge Volkswagen Group recall because a software glitch can keep the rearview camera image from displaying. When the camera feed is part of basic visibility, a screen glitch becomes a safety defect, not a minor annoyance. That pattern is why I'm cautious with VW in 2026. Too many critical features run through software, and too many fixes arrive after owners already deal with the ops moments. Once you clock that, it's easier to understand why another tech-forward brand keeps ending up in the same reliability ditch. Ford. Our Pleasant. Ford is tough for me to recommend if the whole point of buying new in 2026 is fewer headaches. The biggest tell is how often Ford has to yank cars back in for fixes. In 2025, Ford ran multiple massive recall campaigns, including one covering about 1.4 million vehicles for a rearview camera problem, and another covering about 1.9 million for a camera defect tied to images failing or freezing. When a basic visibility system keeps failing across that many vehicles, that's a process problem, not bad luck. Then you've got drivability issues that don't feel like minor quirks when you're the one behind the wheel. Reuters reported a 2025 recall on certain 2025 Explorers, where the powertrain control module software can reset while driving, which can stall the engine or damage the park system. That's a straight-up safety and reliability combo hit, and it's the kind of thing that turns a normal commute into ops. Why did my dash light up like a Christmas tree? On trucks, the 10-speed 10R80 drama is still a thing people run into. NHTSA recall documents in 2025 also show Ford recalling certain remanufactured 10R80 service transmissions because a missing bearing can keep the transmission from holding park. Ford has also faced continued scrutiny and legal action over harsh shifts and unexpected downshifts tied to 10R80-equipped phone 150 seconds. And those complaints don't disappear just because the model year changes. When a brand is juggling big recalls, software resets, and transmission complaints all at once, it sets you up for repeat dealer visits, and that same reliability mess shows up again with the next brand for a different reason. Land Rover. Land Rover is the kind of purchase that feels like you made it when you pull out of the lot. The steering is heavy in a good way. The cabin is quiet, the seats feel expensive, and the suspension can make ugly roads feel like nothing. Then the ownership part shows up, and that's where this brand keeps losing people. Too many key functions ride on a stack of modules and software that does not tolerate small defects. So one little failure turns into a, "Why is my SUV doing this week?" A big example is the touchscreen blanket start issue that triggered a safety recall. That's not about Spotify. If the center display goes dark, you can lose the required rear-view camera image, and that puts the vehicle out of compliance with rear visibility standards. The recall paperwork pins the root cause on a timing mismatch in the screen software. Translation: the fix is not a simple part swap. It's logic, boot behavior, and system handshakes. When that stuff acts up, the dealer becomes part of your routine. Hardware is not off the hook either. There have been recalls where water can get into rear camera components on certain Range Rover builds, leading to distorted or missing images. And on Ingenium inline-6 applications, Land Rover has recalled vehicles for oil filter, element cap, or housing material issues that can crack over time and leak pressurized oil into the engine bay. Oil on hot components is a real risk, and it's also a giant mess even when it does not ignite. Luxury hits different when reliability is shaky, and that's a perfect setup for the next brand, because the same tech-first, fix-later ownership pattern shows up again, just wearing a different badge.